All right, friends, make sure you have all of your things. Have a couple of blankets, a couple of blocks, a bolster, or if you like to sit on your blankets, you can do that too. Welcome. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Okay, making sure I have everything on. All right, friends, so sitting up in a nice, comfortable position, whatever that looks like for you. Welcome to your Tune In Tuesday Yin Yoga practice. Today we're going to focus on stress, feet, shoulders, jaw, maybe it's just extra tension in the body. So if that is resonating with you, welcome. You're in the right space. My name is Casey and I am so happy you are here with me. And as you take that comfortable seat, just gently lean forward and lean back until you feel even on both sides, front, back, left, and right. And find those shoulders over your hips. And I invite you now to place your hands gently on top of your knees or thighs, palms down if you want grounding energy, palms up if you're looking to receive and to accept whatever it is the universe is offering today. All right. And gently close your eyes from top to bottom, doing a thorough scan from head to toe. Noticing how we're breathing. Notice how that breath is flowing in and out of your body this morning. And once you find that stillness, let us go ahead and release the jaw. So put a little space in between your top and your bottom teeth. Let that tongue rest gently in the palate. So let your tongue relax. Creates an open airway for the breath that way, doesn't it? You can feel the breath a little bit fuller that way. And keep pressing down into your sitting bones. Grow tall through the crown of your head. And then go ahead and gently inhale. Lift your shoulders towards your ears. Good. And then exhale, gently bring them down. So move those shoulders up towards the ears. And then as you exhale, slide them down away from your ears, down your back. Create that space in the upper body, an open heart. Nice and wide clavicle, collarbones. And staying here for a few more cycles of breath, setting any intentions for your day or for the rest of your week. Maybe your intention is to be more compassionate and kind to yourself and to others. Maybe it's to be patient with your friends, your family, your children, coworkers. Or maybe your intention is not to take things personally. It's a great one, right? Good reminders for us all not to take things too personally in life. Let's stay here for 4 to 5 more cycles of breath. So allow this breath to be a little more full, a little more intentional. This is not your everyday breathing pattern that you're engaging in. This is, like I said, intentional, it's on purpose. And remember, our breath is the foundation of this beautiful yoga practice of asana, right? If we don't have breath, we're just making funny shapes with our bodies, friends. So make sure you're breathing. And if you forget to breathe, once you remember, that's the key, right? Just keep coming back to the breath. Before you open your eyes, just allow the eyes to gaze down gently towards the floor. And now go ahead, begin to blink your eyes open, come back to your space, lift your chin, Very good. Give the fingers and toes a little wiggle and we will get to it. So let's go ahead and get to the feet a little bit. We've been doing some feet stuff lately, which I love. So just bring one foot out. We're going to take the hands, massage the long bones. We've done this before. If you've been with me the last couple of weeks, few weeks, we've been doing the feet a lot. So massage the long bones. This is not so much yin, but this is energy medicine. And this is just a nice way to move the energy out of our feet. So massaging the long bones down towards the webbing. Once you get to the webbing, pinch the webbing in between the toes. Yeah, and then massage each toe and then pinch the toenail. So there's 4 steps to it, right? Massage the long bones, pinch the webbing, massage each toe and then pinch the toe. Our feet, my friends, are so very, very, very important. Not just because of what, the function that they walk and move, but if our feet are presenting issues, it could be a bigger issue. Our feet are the foundation. So if they start to break down here, that means all of the things above are going to be impacted and affected too, from your knees to your hips to your low back. It's all connected, literally. It's all connected. So this is why when something starts to break down in the body, injuries, pain, whatever, we need to look, and we need to look at the foundation. Okay, so massage the long bones, pinch the webbing, and then massage each toe and pinch the toenail. And then we'll go ahead and flip the feet over and do a little massage for the soles of the feet as well. Okay, so maybe you're touching the arches with your thumbs and giving them a little rub. So go ahead, whatever feels nice and good in your body and your feet, do that. So foundationally, feet are super important. Take care of your feet, and especially, and this is coming from the health coach hat that I also wear. But if you're dealing with diabetes or elevated blood sugar, this is something to address for sure. We know that the feet circulation, again, they all connect. So we need to make sure everything is functioning smoothly. We want all of the systems, the body systems internally working together. All right, so we did a little foot work. Let's get a little bit more into the footwork. So come off of whatever you're sitting on. If you want to take a little movement before we do our first real yin posture, you can do that. We've been sitting for a few moments. So maybe just come to hands and knees and wag your tail a little bit. Give the hips a little shift left to right. And then maybe you want to do some cats and cows to kind of stretch out your spine. Good. Exhale into your cat. Inhale, cow. Good. Or if there's anything else that you want to do, go for it. We have 2 more foot postures, foot and ankle, and then we'll kind of work our way up. No one said anything about hips and low back today, which is surprising, but we did get shoulders. So we'll definitely get into the shoulders too, my friends, and the hips. Okay, let's take it into our first foot posture. So curl the toes under, take a peek, make sure all 10 toes are facing the same direction. And we're going to be here for a minute. All right. So you can either stand up on your knees. You can place a blanket under the knees too if the knees need extra support for whatever reason. But if it feels okay, maybe you lower back down. So you're sitting on your heels with your sit bones opening up through the soles, right? We only need a minute of this. We don't need too much. It's definitely sensational. We want to have sensation, not pain. So notice the difference. Is this something I can tolerate if I breathe, right? That's sensation. Pain is excruciating. I need to come out of it right now. Something just snapped in my body, right? Know the difference between the two. And that breath, right? We're not just making a funny shape here. We're using the breath and the posture to get into the body. We're almost there, my friends. All right, gently come forward back to hands and knees. Uncurl the toes. I like to do a little tap tap with the tops of my feet. And then you can sit back onto your heels if that feels okay. We have another one for the tops of the feet. Tops of the feet go flat. If they don't go flat for whatever reason, there's some space there. My ex-husband, I always like to use him as an example. He had super tight front of the ankles. He just did not have that flexibility in his feet. So the feet could not go flat. So this is my suggestion. If that happens to be your issue, you take that blanket, curl it a little bit, roll it a little bit, and then the tops of your feet can go there. So where that little gap is, that's where you're going to put the blanket. Okay. And that will give you a little bit more support, because we're not trying to injure ourselves in yin yoga. We want to heal the body. All right. So this is going to be where we are. You can take your hands next to your knees and lift the knees up. And then you're going to feel that stretch over the tops of the feet. Otherwise, maybe you use nothing. You can put a block under the knees too if you don't want to hold your legs with your, or if you don't want to support yourself with your hands and do that, you can put a block under the knees too. All right, the timer has started. We're here for a minute. It can get intense just like that other one. So pay attention. If you need to come out sooner, you can do that. That's fine. I give you full permission to do whatever you need for yourself in our practice, always. Right? Sometimes people feel like they need to do every single thing. I know, because I was one of those people in yoga class, in the vinyasa classes. Oh, teacher says I have to do it. I have to do it. No, you don't. And when I teach in person in studios, um, I tell people, you come here for whatever reason you came to class for. If it just means you lay there for the hour and 15 or whatever, how long the class is, if that's what you choose to do, that's what you choose to do. This is your time, right? Sometimes it's just being in that space with the people and that energy. And if that's all you have to give, then that's great. Hopefully you get a lot back. All right, friends, that was 1 minute. Carefully bring your knees down. If you used a block or if you were supporting them with your hands, I'm gonna do the same thing, come to hands and knees and a little tap, tap, tap. How you doing, everybody? Good? Thank you. Love the hearts. Gonna send them right back to you. I'm gonna check the chat to see if there's anything else I need to address. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Kitty, very much. All right, friends, I see more of you have popped in. Hello and welcome. If there's anything that you want to address, please feel free to type it in the chat. I'm gonna keep going through all of our stuff. So we addressed the feet. I want to do something for the hips and the low back. So we're gonna bring ourselves into a yogi squat. So if you come into a squat position, so I'm gonna stand briefly, I'm gonna turn the toes out and take the feet wide, and then you're gonna squat down. When we come down into that squat, if you see that the heels are coming up, that's when you're gonna wanna take that blanket, place that blanket, I'll turn sideways, place that blanket, and then you come into that squat. So use however many blankets you need, right? So 1 blanket, 2 blanket, maybe it's not even a full blanket. Maybe you just need a little lift like that. Kind of the same thing, the same idea. We're using the blanket to support the body in the shape. Okay, it's not restorative. It's like actively passive, or very passive, but very active at the same time. All right, friends, let's come down into our malasana, into our yogi squat. Let us just be here for, let's do 1 minute. All right, friends, so drop that tailbone. If you want, you can bring your arms in front of your chest, palms touch, elbows pressing out. Good, and then try to maintain the spine. Try not to round or curve too much. Good one for the hips. I love me some malasanas. If you have opportunity and time in your day, I highly encourage you to do this on a daily basis. So good for the hips and the spine and the low back. And just do a brief check-in. How are you doing with your breath? How are you doing with your jaw? Are you clenching still? Can you release a little bit? If that's where your attention goes to, then Make that a place you check frequently throughout your practice. A few more breaths here. Good. Take one more inhale. Excellent. Release your hands. Take your hands behind you. Lower yourself down. All right, friends. Let's take the legs straight. Give them a little movement. Good. A little movement back and forth. Beautiful. Good stuff. All right, I want to get into the shoulders, and we're going to get a little bit more into the hips as well. So I'm going to give you a couple of choices for the lower body. If you can, it's a full shoelace. So you're doing like cow face legs. Yes. Make sure you're even on both of your sitting bones, sitting up nice and tall. If this full shoelace does not work for you, then my friends, take it into a half shoelace. So one leg extends, and then you bring that shin below the knee or above the knee, just not right on top. All right, so that's lower body. Lower body is half shoelace or full shoelace. Good, and then we're gonna get into the shoulders a little bit more. So I like to do shoelace on the bottom and then eagle arms on top. So take the arms out to the side. And let me set my timer. Let's do 3 minutes. This is gonna be a nice, long, juicy hold. So we're gonna take, this is my left leg on top, and take my right arm on top, wrap it once, maybe twice. This is all dependent on your body. So wrap those arms up and let them rest gently on your chest. And breathe here. So good for the shoulders, good for the spine. Now, once you've settled and your breath is flowing, you're more than welcome to stay right here. Or if you want to come down a little bit, you can. Maybe the elbows rest on the knee, or maybe you can go beyond the knee. If you want to use a prop to support your body, you can do that as well. Lots of choices. And just keep breathing. Maybe close your eyes and really feel the sensations in your body. Where are those sensations? And if this becomes very easy, you can always take it a little bit deeper. And this is where this practice becomes very, very unique, individualized, and personal to each person that shows up. Maybe tuck your chin a little bit to get a little more sensation in the upper spine. Keep releasing and softening in your body. Let it get a little bit easier with those exhales. Where in your body are you holding the most tension? Is it your hips? Is it your shoulders, your neck? Let it go. Allow those exhales to be a little bit longer than your inhales. And we'll really get into that parasympathetic nervous system. All right, friends, slowly lift up. If you came into a little fold, unwrap your arms. You can fly them a little bit too. Good. And then carefully release your legs. Two ways you can do the release of the legs. Traditionally, just unwrap them. Or if you took shoelace like this, Take your hands down to the sides. This is just a fun little transition. Makes us feel like kids again. When I teach kids yoga, I always teach them this transition. Of course, they love it. So bring your hands down. Press into the outside edges of your feet. Lift up and then do a little spin, spin. And then you land with your other leg on top. Or you can do it the traditional way, unwrap the legs and bring the other leg on top. Now my right leg is on top, so that means my left arm will be on top. So 3 minutes on one side, we'll do 3 minutes on the other side. Take the arms out, open up, inhale. And then switch the arm crossing, wrap once, maybe back of the hands, or maybe you can take it into that double wrap and the palms kind of touch. All right, typically we lift the elbows and press the hands away from the face, but this is yin. So we're not using muscles here. Remember, we're trying to get into our soft tissues. So let us stress the soft tissues. That's what we're doing. We're stressing them by adding compression or tension or twisting, right? So we twisted the legs up a little bit and we're pressing and we're leaning forward. There's a lot happening here. So take it to wherever you need. Maybe you stay upright. Let the elbows rest on your chest, on your heart. And then you can come forward whenever you are ready, to whatever degree that is for you today. And then to get more into the spine, you can bring your chin towards your chest. Thank you so much, friends, for showing up today. And if you joined a little bit later, you're always welcome to add something into the chat if there's something you're looking to address. This class is all about you and your needs and how I can support you with a yoga flow, a nice yin yoga practice. So keep breathing, maybe get a little bit deeper. Finding that edge where it's just enough, not too much, but just right. We always want to work within our range of motion. We're not trying to go outside of that, because when we do that, it can cause harm. And if you know, one of our rules, our yamas, is our first one is ahimsa. Non-violence, non-injury. We don't come to yoga to hurt ourselves. We come to yoga to heal our minds, our bodies, our spirits. That's what this practice has given me. Been practicing for 19 years now, teaching for 10. This practice is life-changing, my friends. And it's absolutely a journey. You may start with one style or practice and get curious and explore more. That's what happened to me, right? Doing all of the different styles, Ashtanga, Iyengar, restorative, obviously yin, vinyasas, all of it. All right, friends, slowly inhale, come up, unwind, flap your wings, fly away. Good, give them a little stretch. And then gently, now we can release the legs. Good. All right, you can take the legs into some windshield wipers if that would feel good, or anything else. So take those feet about mat distance. Gently drop those knees side to side. Oh, yes. So nice. How are the hips feeling? Good? I love a good shoelace and half shoelace. Surprised we didn't have too many asks for hips today. All right, so we got into the shoulders. We got a little bit into the hips. Let us go ahead and get a little bit more into our shoulders. What do you think? I think that would be a good idea. All right, so let us come into a child's pose. Let's bring the big toes together, separate those knees. We are going to want to have some blocks handy. We are going to eventually elevate the hands and then the elbows. We did this one, I believe, last Tuesday as well. If not, it was like the week before. I know we've done it recently, but we'll do a nice child's pose and I'll give you some variations. I'm going to pop over. I see some Somebody added something. I love to open the hips more. Pigeon pose. Jennifer, you got it, sister. Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it. I love me a pigeon pose. All right. We'll do that after. How's that? Works? Okay. I love it. Please. So friends, feel free anytime if there's like an area of the body you want to address, hips, shoulders, back, which are usually the big asks, hips, right? You can always ask for a posture specifically if you know the pose, or you can say the body part. But if there's a pose specifically you are looking for, I am always happy to incorporate that into our yin yoga flow because our bodies crave certain things sometimes. All right, I'm just going to place the blocks at the top of my mat, but I'm going to come down. I'm going to extend my arms, but my elbows are going to be resting gently. We're going to take about a minute here, and then we're going to work our way through like a progressive little series for the shoulders, kind of warming up the shoulders. So take the arms long, but rest the elbows down. Now, also, if the shoulders feel tight, take the arms a little bit wider and rest your forehead. Breathe. Keep reaching those sitting bones back towards your heels. And if they don't come down all the way, that's where you're going to get your blanket and support yourself. And breathe. And while you're here in your child's pose, do a scan of your body, making sure that you are not clenching your jaw. All right, friends, that was 1 minute there. Now we're going to just gently lift the head, find those yoga blocks. Now we're going to place one hand on the yoga block. So 2 blocks, 2 hands, hands on blocks. And then again, widen the hands, widen the blocks as wide as you need for the shoulders if they're feeling a little tight. And then rest the forehead down. Slide a blanket under the forehead if you need that support as well. Breathe here. Ooh, yeah, I'm already feeling a little impingement. Oh, yeah. Fun shoulder injuries, right? Good times. And you know, the funny thing is, it's not the shoulder that I had the injury on, it's the other one. It's like the injury loosened up all of my soft tissues in the right shoulder, so my left shoulder is a lot tighter than my right. Isn't that funny? You'd think it'd be the other way, right? All right, friends, slowly lift your head. We're in there just long enough to get it warmed up. All right, slide those blocks back. Bring them closer to you. So now we can rest elbows on top of the blocks. And the forehead will come down. Again, support your head with a blanket. I don't want your head just hanging out in space. Give it a little lift, right? It's not because, you're a bad yogi, right? Okay. Our bodies all have different, we're all built a little bit different. Same parts, right? Same car, same model, put together, right? We're all put together a little bit differently. So if you have tight shoulders, widen the blocks, right? If the head doesn't come down all the way, that's okay. Support it. This is not a judgmental class. We're not judging ourselves because of the things we can and cannot do. Structurally, we're just a little different, and that's a-okay. You can connect the palms together here, and you can even bring your thumbs towards the nape of your neck as well. All right, friends, slowly begin to lift your head. Place your hands on the floor, and then inhale, bring yourself back up. Take your blocks or whatever you used off to the side. How are the shoulders feeling? Hopefully they're feeling good. Good. All right, now let's come forward, hands and knees. Our legs have been cramped up for a few minutes. So go ahead and take one leg at a time, press through the heel. This might feel really good after that footwork we did earlier. Get a little stretch in the calf muscle as well. So keep pressing through that heel. And then you can switch, bring that knee down, other leg, press through the heel, toes down. Get that length in the back of your legs. Good. You can switch it again if you want. One more time, press through that heel. Give the leg a little stretch and switch. Good. All right. We will prepare for our pigeon, my friends. So if you need a blanket or a block to support you, go ahead and find it, get it close. And then however you want to get into your pigeon. Some people like to come from downward facing dog. Some people come from all fours. It's all good. I'm going to gently bring my left knee towards my left hand. I'm going to take that blanket and slide it underneath my hips. Now I have a little bit more support. Back leg is nice and straight. Then you can stay up here if this is best, right? To kind of start. I want everybody to start up. And then if you choose to come down, that's a choice you can make later. But right now, let's hold here. Let's do a nice juicy one. Let's do 3 minutes. I'm feeling like our hips might need it. And if we are experiencing stress, if we just have things like a lot of emotions happening, this is a great pose to get into those feelings and to feel them. Hip openers are, this is fantastic for the hip flexors, but the hip openers can bring a lot of emotion up. So if you're working through something or something recently happened and this is like hitting you in a certain way, breathe. Use that breath. Nice full inhale through the nose. Let it go. Soften. Soften through your hips, your low back. All right. And then wherever you want to be, my friends, take it to the next level if you're ready. Come down to elbows. Make it into a sleeping pigeon or a sleeping swan. And breathe. Find that stillness in this shape. We're about halfway through this shape, so about around now, hopefully your body has softened into your shape. It's relaxed in it. It's comfortable in it. And now we can do the work, right? So breathe and soften. Friends, slowly begin to walk yourself back up if you came down. Come to elbows and then hands. All right. And then you can exit out of the shape the same way that you came into it. So maybe it's down dog, maybe it's all fours. And then we will switch out the leg. So bring the other knee, bring your right knee towards the right wrist. Doing good with those openers? So good here. Okay. Now, once you get settled, straighten that back leg. Top of the foot is flat. And then bring your support if you're using anything. Stay upright if that's where you want to be. And we'll all start up. And then later you can always come down. Good. Hopefully you're feeling good in the hips. I was thinking about some other hip openers that we're going to do. Just a couple more, and then we'll bring it down to a twist. Typically at the end before Shavasana, I like to bring it into a twist just to kind of neutralize the spine once again. So we'll definitely get into that. Again, just check in, go to your go-to spaces, places in your body where you hold tension, your jaw, your forehead, anywhere in your face, soften those shoulders down. Nice full breath in, and then whenever you're ready, bring it down or not. Stay up if you need to. Everybody is working at where they are today with the body they showed up with today. My body yesterday is very different from the body I woke up with today, right? It's just how it is sometimes, depending on your activity, your level of, how much sleep you got, what kind of food you ate. They all are connected, my friends. That's why I had to continue my learning of not just yoga, but I had to get into nutrition. I had to get into health coaching because our systems do not work alone. All of our internal systems work together, right? So it's important to address them all. Getting down to the root causes of things is my passion. Let us find the root cause of whatever the issue is, whether it's gut inflammation, hormonal imbalance. It's all gut related, my friends. Trust me, it's all gut related. And we have to figure out what works and what does not work. Same thing as a special education teacher. If I have kids that are nonverbal, it's like I'm an investigator. I have to find the clues. So all of the work I do is very much, it's the same but different, if that makes sense. Creating plans and goals for both, right? For health coaching and for my special ed students, right? Very similar. Coaching, motivating, teaching. All right, friends, when you're ready, start to walk those hands back, hands under shoulders. Inhale, slowly come up. Exit out of your shape. Maybe it's just bringing that back leg forward, or you can come back into that way, the same way that you came into the pose, you can go out. So step out. All right, I want to take it into a couple more postures before we get down to our twist. So take your feet shoulder width or mat width, and then a little windshield wipers. Just see how that feels on your hips. All right. Gently roll down to your backs. And then bring your knees with you, hug them in, rock a little side to side Apanasana. Just knees to chest. Good. So good if we're having anything going on in our belly. Just this little movement of rocking can help stimulate, right? Okay, bring those feet down. Let us take it into a figure four. So I'm gonna take my right ankle over my left knee, right hand into the right thigh, just giving some space or creating some space here in the hip joint. Staying right here. This is one option. And if you're ready for a little bit more, you can interlace the fingers behind the left thigh and then pull in. Keep this right foot flexed. And then take a look at your left knee. Where is it? If it's towards the center of your body, can you move that knee so it's in the line with your left shoulder? So left knee, left shoulder, same line, right? Straight line. So that means you might have to shift the legs over. And when you do that, that's where you're going to feel more sensation in that right leg. So opening up that hip, breathing. Good. Nice stretch for the glutes and the hip opener. Again, thank you so much, friends, for your donations. If you feel like you've received some benefit from this practice, a donation would be greatly appreciated. Any amount works fine. I'm not picky. All right, go ahead and release. Drop that left foot. We're going to do a twist now. All right, I know I said we were going to do it later, but we're going to do it now because it kind of just makes sense. So gently place that left foot down, shift the hips over to the right. We're going to let this top right knee slide down. All right, now we're going to come into a little twisted roots. If you need a block, take a block. And then we're going to bring the knees down, however far they go. Now, if that means you use the block on the tallest height, then it's on the tallest height. I want your shoulders grounded. That's my main concern here. So we're going to be here for about 2 minutes. So get nice and comfy in your shape. Arms out to the side, cactus arms, arms down, looking towards the extended arm or towards where the direction of the knees. So you have a few options for focal points. Breathing here. Settling into that breath. A nice, smooth flow of breath. Go ahead, take another inhale. And exhale. Let it go. Next inhale, slowly bring your knees back up. Unwind your legs. Bring yourself back towards the center of your yoga mat. And here we have figure four, other side. So left ankle crosses over right knee. Flex through that left foot. Interlace the fingers behind. Oh, whoops, I skipped a step. If you want to just stay here and open up the hip, you can do that as well. So just take your left hand, press it into the left thigh, open up that hip. Like I said, this is an option just to stay right here. If this is enough, you feel it. Or if you want a little bit more, go ahead and interlace the fingers now behind the right thigh. Keep that left foot flexed. Keep the low back on the ground and then pull in. Use that left elbow, open up the hip a little bit more. Now, this is where we notice where the right knee is. If it's like in the center of the chest, move it so it's in line with your right shoulder. Right knee, right shoulder, and pull in. Breathe. Good hip opener here. And soften through your jaw. Try to relax your throat. Let that breath flow in and out, nice and smooth. Can you shift that knee over a little bit more? Maybe it drifted back to center. All right, exhale, bring that right foot down. Let that left top leg just slide over. Press into your right foot, lift the hips up towards the left side of your yoga mat. That's just to give your body a little space when you bring the knees over for the twist. And it also keeps the spine a little bit more straight. All right, so bring those knees down to the block. We're going to be here for 2 minutes and we're breathing and making sure that the left shoulder can touch the ground. So nice deep spinal twist. And if this twist doesn't work for whatever reason, come into your most favorite twist. Double knee twist or single leg twist. It's all good. Breathing. Softening, letting go. Stay for one more big inhale here. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, carefully bring the knees up, unwind them. Plant your feet, shift the hips back towards center. And hug your knees to your chest. Good. Rock a little side to side. Give them a little circle. Good. Any other movement that you like? Maybe it's rocking, maybe it's circles, maybe it's a happy baby. Do what your body is asking for. Just ask yourself, what would feel really good right now? Rocking, maybe it's rocking and rolling up and down along your spine. This is always nice. Sometimes I feel like yoga gives us permission to be the true little inner kid we are. Because, like, when's the last time as an adult you were rocking up and down along your spine if you weren't in a yoga class? Never, right? All right, maybe a little happy baby. And then, my friends, when you're ready, let us go ahead and prepare for our final shape, the dessert of our practice, Shavasana. So find a blanket underneath your head, maybe a bolster underneath the legs, whatever else you need. I don't know what the weather is like where you are. It's flipping hot here in Las Vegas. So If you're in a place where you might need a blanket or something to wrap yourself up with, then please have that close by. It's always nice. When I was married and living in the house we had before, it would, even though it was in Vegas, it would get so chilly. So I would find myself wrapping up in that house. This place, not so much. Nice and warm here. All right, friends. So put your position, get your body in the position you need it to be relaxed. And here we go. We have some time for Shavasana. So let the back of your head be on the flat part of your skull, and you can rock your head a little left to right. In the same way we started, just doing a little scan from head to toe, closing your eyes from top to bottom, relaxing your jaw, your forehead, the space in between your eyebrows, your eyes. Let the eyes just kind of sink back into the sockets. And if you want, you can even take the heel of your hands and press them into your eye socket. Give the eyes a little rest. And let go of that breathing you had earlier. Take a nice breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. One more. Shavasana. All right, my friends. Gently begin to deepen your inhales. And begin to bring a little movement to your fingers and toes. Give them a little movement, a little wiggle. Circle of wrists and the ankles in one direction. And reverse. Good. And then on an inhale, you can reach your arms overhead. Take a full body stretch. And then gently roll over to one side. Pause. Thank you, friends, again so much for your donations. That's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then as you're ready, go ahead and come up to a comfortable seat and we'll close our practice. And just so if you haven't seen it, if you don't know, I have quite a few meditations and EFT tapping practices here on Insight Timer. And then I do have some recent videos that I recorded and made. One is about, the intro to 4 pillars of health, and then I go over each pillar of health. And then most recently, I uploaded a lymphatic drainage sequence. I'm doing this lymphatic drainage sequence every single day. It takes about 12 minutes, and it's easy. You don't need to have any equipment, just your body, and use your phone. I use my watch for my timer. So it's a 4-minute video because I just teach you the practice, but then you can do it on your own. I don't need to do a whole minute of the movement so you can understand what I'm doing. So feel free to pop on over there. Let me know what you think. I'm going to be putting more videos up there, and some of them might be behind that paywall depending on what it is. So again, thank you so much for your donations. Thank you for showing up for Yin Yoga practice today. Thank you for your chat, the input, letting me know about you and what you need. That's how this class works. I know we can't be together physically, But we're in this beautiful digital space on Insight Timer, and I want to make this practice just as accessible and just as intimate as it would be if we were together in one room. So thank you for holding that space and being here with me and allowing me to provide you with this service. So on your inhale, reach your arms up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bringing down all of that divine universal energy to your heart centers. And that divine universal energy vibrates as the frequency of love through which you and I and all sentient beings are connected on this planet. The light in me salutes and honors the light in all of you, my friends. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you Friday for Feel Good Friday Yin Yoga practice, 4 p.m. my time. I'm here Pacific time in Las Vegas, so feel free to join me for that. Same format, just a different name. You show up, let me know what's happening in your body that day, or if there's stress, whatever's happening, let me know. And then I come up with postures for the sequence. And so each class is very unique. So no two are repeated unless you're joining me for the chakra balancing class, which is the same set of postures I do each season change. I just did one in June. I'll do another one in September for autumn. So it's a nice way just to check in. How are we feeling? How are we doing? Where can I, it's just a good check-in. As yogis, part of our work is to self-reflect and self-inquiry. So I like to have 4 points throughout the year where I just kind of check in, like, what's my energy like? Where am I more masculine? Where am I more feminine? Where am I balanced and imbalanced? How can I come back to this homostasis, this equal, right? I love it. Oh my God, all these hearts, you guys. I love it. Thank you so much, my friend.